sometimes been able to dig ourselves out of holes. Tonight wasn't as fortunate, but just not as explosive and as dominant as we want to be offensively.
What do you think the biggest difference was offensively in the first half compared to the second half?
Second half, I think sense of urgency. You're down 21-0, you really have nothing to lose at that point. Guys were playing free, flying around. I think sometimes a lot of the guys put a lot of pressure on ourselves to go out there and perform. And ultimately, we're at our best whenever we're playing loose and flying around.
Did you feel more comfortable running up tempo like you did?
Yeah, it was a good change of pace, and I mean, for the situation we're in, it's kind of have to do that type of stuff. But we had a lot of success, and curious to see maybe we go towards a little bit more up tempo stuff as the season goes on.
How do you handle it when your first throw of the day gets bad breaking or something like that?
Yeah, it's kind of just sometimes it just happens that way where it wasn't on the fortunate end of a tip pass right there, bad into the defender's hands. But I mean, it's the first throw of the night. It's probably the best time, in my opinion, to throw an interception because you still have the whole game ahead of you to look forward and that type of stuff. So it was still 0-0 at that point. A lot of game left, and sometimes just the ball wasn't bouncing in our favor tonight.
Seeing Trey get in there and kind of make some plays, I know he hadn't seen the field as much maybe as he wanted to this year, but is that connection kind of starting to form with you and Trey?
Yeah, and then Trey's a great receiver. He's a real long, lanky receiver. Guy can go up and get a football, a really wide catch radius. So being able to see him, kind of flourish tonight and make some big plays for me, definitely kind of, improved our chemistry on the field.
What do you kind of say to rally the troops at this point after 2 losses?
I mean, the biggest thing is, I'm a competitor. So at the end of the day, I never step on the field unless I'm going out there to win. So I think at this point, it's just, we got to take it 1 week at a time, 1 week season. You never know what could shake out, and just continue to attack, each day as its own and not too far down the road.
Avery, there were a handful of times tonight where the ref had backed off. ASU still had extra guys on the field trying to get subbed out, and you guys never once took advantage of that, trying to get the free play. Did you see those guys, or is that something where you're more focused on other things during the play?
I think the biggest thing is sometimes this offensive line is out there communicating stuff, and the last thing I want is to catch our guys off guard. We got to do a better job of that in practice, simulating some type of stuff. And I got to do a better job, getting those guys down and set so that we do get the opportunity to take some shots on some free plays and stuff. But, that's all I got to say probably for that one.
There were several clips on the television broadcast of you kind of getting after your offense on the sideline. Are you feeling more confident as a vocal leader when maybe things aren't going well?
Yeah, I think a lot of times, people look at me and trying to feed off my body language. So just kind of sometimes you got to know when to get on some guys and pick some guys up and grab them by the shoulder and tell them, hey, I'm gonna come back to you. It's gonna be all right. Don't lose confidence. I think you got to balance those type of things with those type of guys sometimes. But ultimately, just trying to fire those guys up and get them going so that we can go out and perform at our highest level.